Hey everyone, it's your girl Jass Reign, national best-selling author, owner of She Bossed Up, and host of Boss Therapy Podcast. I have here with me my guest.
Yeah, I'm Omar Howard, owner of Substance Paraphernalia LLC.
Melvin Younger, just a businessman and just doing my thing.
Alrighty, I'm gonna start off with Omar. Omar, can you share your entrepreneur journey with us and what made you get started? What sparked your interest in being your own boss?
Well, really, I think what really started me as an entrepreneur is just watching my family do certain things and just kind of take things for their own, but not actually, putting the work in and doing it themselves. They was doing it for other people. So
Right.
I figured for myself, like, I should do what I love to do and kind of, you know, build my own business out of it, make my own laws, be my own boss.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And how did your background affect your influence your path?
Shit, I mean, I'm a product of my environment to an extent.
Right.
Again, it always come from like my family background. A lot of the things that I do, I got a long reach in my city, in my area, so I just try to connect all the points and kind of get everybody together in a sense to where, we got to do this together, and that kind of molded me to be like an entrepreneur. Like I kind of fell into it, but I kind of didn't. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like I really wanted to do this for myself, but I seen how it could help everybody else and how we could how we just party and do what we do. We could do it and make money at the same time. Like we could
Right.
use our talents to make money off of it. So
Right.
at the same time, I kind of fell into it, but I kind of didn't. It's just
Right. It
you
was
know
just
what I
like
mean?
destined for you.
Yeah, it was kind of a natural thing.
Okay.
in a sense.
Definitely. A lot of entrepreneurs feel that way.
All right.
Like we was just born like the first time I ever wrote anything, I wrote a poem when I was like 9 years old. I'm from East Baltimore in Maryland.
Yeah.
So like the first time I wrote a poem, I remember my mom like fussing at me, like, what book did you steal this out of? And it was my environment because
Yeah.
like I talked about the drug dealers. I talked about how they affected the family, the single motherhood and everything. At 9, I seen those type of things. So like I was destined. Like at 12, she bought me my first computer, and it went off from there.
Right. So you kind of like went from your environment. You did what was naturally, you know, passionate to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the same thing. Like I'm around so much. I love everything I'm around.
Right.
Like my city is a paradise, and people don't understand that. And I try to like, bring that to people, like all the people around me, like my family, and let them know, like, yo, we blessed. We could do so much out of this. So we gotta naturally just do what we do and make money off of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just use what you got and make it work. That's
Yeah,
pretty much what
definitely.
we try to do.
Definitely. And you do that through your art as well.
Yeah, I mean, the art is just a part of it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that's my passion. Everyone knows that. But, it just goes so many different ways because of the art. And that's one of the things I really want to highlight is that do something that you love to do, and you'll find different avenues. You can reach so many different places through what you love to do.
Yeah, energy definitely synchronizes when you on your own journey and path.
Right. And what you think you just like drawing a picture can turn into, you doing big shows for stages, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your picture could be on stages and shit like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Your stuff can be in cartoons, anything. So you gotta really just stick to your script and kinda just do what you love to do, but figure out a way to, finesse it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
definitely.
You gotta finesse your passion.
Right.
That's what you really gotta do.
I agree. All right. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced as an entrepreneur, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the biggest things was really, having belief in what I'm doing and not allowing, you know, actually listening to the critics too. Like being able to listen. You know what I mean? Because once you think you know something so much, you tend to talk a lot. You tend to act like you want to showcase yourself a lot instead of actually listening to
Oh, excuse me.
that's okay. Yeah, that's that weed.
It definitely is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I was trying to wait.
It's really about smoking weed and listening to your audience. I mean,
Right.
for real. Like, you got to listen to your clients. You got to listen to the critics. I think a lot of it is really being able to know your worth and understand what your clientele is and who aren't your clientele, and be able to go after the people that aren't your clientele. You know who's gonna spend money regardless. Mm-hmm. So that you already got that on deck, but you want to be able to go after the other people too, the people, the non-believers. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a real important part of it.
I definitely agree. Do you feel like were there any specific tools that you used that were helpful with overcoming those obstacles?
Listening was definitely a big part of it. I had to learn that at the beginning, but a lot of it was really sticking to my script, basically learning from others that have been there, kind of doing my research. You know what I mean? Research is very important. Preparation is very important. I think those were the most important parts that kind of get me to where I want to get, to where I was like, yo, I want to put this shit out. I want to do this. Like, where I was confident enough to be like, yeah, I'm a real businessman. Right. This is what I want to do. This is who I'm going to be. And when you see me, this is what you know. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of it was listening. It was the preparation and the research, and then having the confidence to put it out after those two things happened. Like, after I was confident enough to know that, yeah, I could really do this because of the research that I put in and all the work I put in, I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's funny you say confidence, because one thing that I wanted to touch on was it's hard for us in the community at all to, especially when we come from poverty, especially when we don't come from generational wealth,
Right.
to even pursue these things that are visions in our mind, to even allow them to manifest, right? Women and men. But particular for my brothers, right? Because I've been raised with women, it'd be like, you know, if he ain't got nothing to offer you, then, you know what I'm saying, you don't need to be dealing with him. Yeah. But where did you come to a point where it's like, I'm going to pursue something that has nothing to offer me and be okay with it? Because I know, like, you know, the naysayers, they expect men, especially black men, to have something to show for himself, or he's nothing. Yeah. And I try to tell, like, all my black men, like, it's in you, it ain't got to be on you, because all the time materialistic things come and go. Right. But it's like, it takes a extra step of confidence as a black man to pursue business when you ain't got the blueprint. Yeah, man. Like, when you got people looking at you like, what you doing? Oh, you better be doing something, or we, you know, you less than. I'm glad you asked that, because I think a lot of us black men, we deal with insecurities and egos because of where we believe we should be and where we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what you got to do is you got to understand what you're dealing with, and you have to be able to go to a certain place to where it's not. It's more about. All right. That was a deep question, so.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. But go back a little bit.
Okay, so the basis of my question is, how did you stay confident, continue to pursue your goals when it's not financially fronting the bills, right, and society says if a black man has nothing, he is nothing? Right.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is having multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? But as black men, we insecure about a lot of things because we don't get the same opportunities. We don't get it easy as other people. And we have a lot of pressure on us because we are, you know what I mean, we the mold of what popularity is. We are pop culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Bottom line is that we all cool, we all dress smooth, we set the trends, so on and so forth. And even in our small neighborhoods, we do that. So that pressure alone tends to make us kind of go at one thing very hard. And we need to, like, understand that, you got to pay rent, you got to pay bills,
Right.
so on and so forth. So you got to have multiple streams of income and also do what you love.
Right.
And once you do what you love, you'll find out, shit, you might make some money off of it.
Right.
But the first thing I did was I got a job first to make sure I could pay for shit.
Right.
Then I could do what I love.
So it's a balance, you saying?
You have to balance it out, and you have to be able to deal with your priorities first.
Right.
Be in a space to where, you know what I'm saying, I got my bills paid, now I could go paint.
Right.
Now I could do what I love. And then maybe I can make some money off of it.
Right.
But first you gotta handle business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think a lot of us as black men, we get out of high school because we dope in high school. They all, you know what I'm saying? We think we're gonna go to college or play basketball or football and so on and so on. Once that don't work, we like, shit. Then we go
Right.
left, you know what I'm saying? Because we
Right.
still need them fresh kicks. We still need to look like we was looking, you know what I'm saying? So the pressure is way higher for black men. Straight out of high school, the pressure is way higher than anybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Than anybody. So I think once you understand that, you gotta create a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, get your priorities together. If you ain't making money off of your craft or your passion right away, go get a fucking job. Don't be delusional.
Right,
You know
but
what I'm
don't
saying?
give up.
But don't give up. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Exactly. Don't give up, but do not be delusional. Because there's a lot of us in these streets that's delusional. Like, it's mad rappers out here. You know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
rapping and homeless.
Don't mix.
Yeah, it don't mix.
Right.
It don't mix. So I think the most important part is that, you know what I mean? Like, have some residual income, be able to pay your bills, get your priorities together first, and you're going to be able to create the best stuff anyway. Like,
Yep.
to build your business, to be passionate about. Once you're comfortable and you're in your space, you're going to make some great shit.
I definitely agree. Being an entrepreneur for 10 years, I've done all of it. I quit my corporate job, pursued
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. And being a creative is like you said, you still got them bills to pay.
Right.
So that was like a blockage on my creativity because I'm like now I'm not producing work for passion. I'm producing work as a hustle.
Exactly.
And so, I tried it both ways. And I definitely agree that until the business can pay for itself, you need to
Right.
be out here getting a 9 to 5. But it's not impossible because I have a lot of people, like myself, once I got a 9 to 5 that I was comfortable with, I was back in the corporate world and it paid the bills and some,
Right.
I kind of got lazy on the passion, but the passion started to burn like too deep where it was
Yeah.
like, the
You had
guilt
to get
started.
back in it.
Yeah, it was
you
like,
had to, damn, I'm missing my passion. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
understand that. But, like I said, you know what I mean? We got to really deal with the realness because everybody ain't that. It's so many people in competition to where everybody just don't have that fantasy story that we think about. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
oh, I love to do this shit, so I'm just rocking. Like, I'm just doing my shit. It don't happen that way.
Right.
In real life, you gotta do what you gotta do first, and you know
In
what I
order
mean,
to do
because
what
it's
you
not
want.
like you don't have. Some of us got kids before we figured out what our passion was. Some of us, we got girlfriends that's on our ass, or significant others, whatever. So you
Right.
gotta deal with real life first. You know what I mean? As long as you can handle your real life, it's just easier. You know what I mean? It's just easier. Some of us can't do it, just stress it out and just fuck it. I'm just gonna run it. You know what I mean? I'm just going full steam ahead. But it's always better to have different streams of income, different revenue, something solid where you're gonna get some money that's gonna help you boost what you want to do in the future as your passion. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's investing in yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what it really is. If you just getting a job just to get a job, that's just a job. But if you getting a job and you stacking it on your passion, that's different.
Right.
You investing in yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely agree. So my next question for you: how has mental health played a role in entrepreneurship for you?
It's very important. You got to be mentally stable all the way around the board. You got to be able to understand who I mean, who is stable and who isn't.
Right.
Like, you really have to be on your game, and you gotta understand yourself. You know what I mean? Like, when I was younger, I had to go through therapy. When I got my first job, like I got a corporate job, and I had to actually go through therapy, and it helped me in a sense.
Right.
Just to be able to talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit was stressing me out. Like, they was trying to whitewash me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, really, like, this motherfucker was taking me to go get suits, like, in Beverly Hills. Like, look, you got to dress this way and talk this way. And I'm like, this ain't, like, you really trying to do this to me, right? So it really fucked me up in the head because the money was good, but it just didn't feel true to myself.
Right.
So going through therapy actually helped me to a sense of where I was able to trick the company. I was able to do business inside of the company, you know what I mean, without them even knowing it. So I even got my dog a job up there, you know what I'm saying? So I think dealing with your own mental situation is number one. First of all, understand, like, if you feeling sad, you need to talk to somebody. Like, you got to be able to vent to somebody, right?
Right.
And the second thing is you got to understand, if you dealing with somebody who's mentally ill, you got to let them be themselves. Let them vent themselves out too. You know what I mean? I think that's very important, and you learn from those things. And fuck business. You actually, you know, you start bridging gaps between people and how you thinking in your own world. Like, damn, I didn't think people really thought like this, or I didn't know it was this fucked up, or you start understanding and like, yo, you might be able to, even though you at this point, even though you like feel like you sane, it's other people out here that you can help. And they toe up, like, you know what I mean? Their mind is out the window.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I had best friends, I lost a best friend from schizophrenia and bipolar. You know what I mean? He went to the Navy, and he helped me start a business. We started a business together. We was making T-shirts.
Oh, wow.
Shout out my dude, Jacuzzi, man. Shout out Maurice. And ironically, we made so much money off of funerals. We was making T-shirts off of people dying in the hood. You know what I mean? Like, yo, Omar, can you make T-shirts? My cousin just passed away. You know what I mean? We was getting bulk orders. And we was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So, like, he the one that really put me on that. He was like, yo, you could draw, you could do all this artistic shit. Yo, let's do some T-shirts. You know what I mean? He did the business part, and I just did the art. It was just fun.
Right.
So we kind of fell into that, like the question you said earlier, but we just kind of fell into it because it was a need for it, and this was our passion. You know what I mean? So it just kind of worked out in that sense. But he ended up being a bipolar schizophrenic after he went to the Navy. We ended up connecting after that. I was his only friend. He lost all his friends, and his mom would call me, and I would be with him, and we'd be hanging out. And the only thing he wanted to do was do business. He had money,
Right.
because he went to the Navy and stuff, and they messed his head up with the drugs. But when he got his check, he had like 20 bands. He was like, yo, Omar, he called me first. Come on, let's go invest some money. And we did that. Even when he was mentally ill, I just made sure that we got the money back. And, you know, I'm not a therapist, so, you know, things went to the left because of his illness, and because he wasn't coping correctly. But there's ways to cope, and, you know, we separated amicably. But I hope he's doing well. I hope you're doing well, Jacuzzi. I'm gonna just say that. I love him to death, and I appreciate him helping me figure out who I am in my entrepreneurship.
Right.
He'll go.
Definitely.
You feel me?
Yeah, definitely. So that's the whole foundation of Boss Therapy. I was raised, by my mom, but I was really raised by my brother and my uncle. And to me, they're really strong black men. They could lose it all, but you wouldn't be able to tell unless you was close to them, and they could always get it back. But growing up, it always felt like because they held things down, even from behind the wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My oldest brother held me down. But what I never realized is that mentally he wasn't okay. You know what I'm saying? He had the burden of raising his little sister. He had the burden of making sure everything was great. And he did it, with smiles. And it got to a point where we got older, me and him like this. Like, if you follow me on social media, I'm reposting him all the time.
Right.
Because I'm very proud of him. But it was to a point where I'm just thinking he's so strong. And somebody, my mom reached out and was like, yo, he not doing good mentally. And that messed me up, and that made me realize, like, sometimes we put too much on each other, black men and women.
Definitely.
But now I got to make sure every day I wake up and every man that I love, I'm reaching out, and I'm making sure y'all okay mentally.
I love
because
that.
Y'all not going to be like, hey, sis, I need to talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm popping them. I'm annoying you. You're going to have to tell me if it's something wrong.
Big facts.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want to lose, any of my black men and then have to think about what I could have did, what I could have said.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
I love that. And, one of the things I've been stressing is, like, my curator, shout out to Art Realm, Lil Brandy, shout out to Lil Brandy. I've been stressing to her, and she's helping me with this. It's basically that we don't have programs for black men. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't have these type of programs for black men that cater to. No one's asked us what we need,
right?
In a sense, you know what I mean. You got programs that make black women successful. You know what I mean, and they stick together. Like I help with these programs, so I see them. Mm-hmm. I see all these programs that they doing, but they don't do them for black men.
Right.
So one of the things that we are trying to do, we trying to do something that's going to cater to us black men. You know what I mean? That's coming up. We making history. Like, we got a lot of shit going on. We calling it Debonair Day. This is gonna be a brunch just for black men.
Okay.
And it's gonna be women catering straight to black. It's gonna be all women catering to black men. We're gonna dress up. We're gonna get debonair, and we're gonna do our thing and celebrate us. You know what I mean? And the people that are gonna be there, it's not gonna just be like us hanging out and partying. We're gonna have mental health specialists, you know what I mean? People that could talk to and give us connections, you know what I mean? That could get us jobs or whatever we trying to deal with, we're going to try to cater to us. So that's what I'm building on next. So I'm glad that you actually talked about that because that's what we trying to do because there is nothing for black men. You know what I mean?
And that's why I created Boss Therapy because ladies don't bite my head off. We have She Bossed Up for the women. The little girl who healed is the woman that bossed up. But back to the mental health of black men, why we here today is because I want my son to feel safe in a woman's arms. I want my daughters to feel safe in a man's arms.
Right.
We got to start right now with building each other. You know what I mean? So, like, y'all having that brunch without women being insecure and understanding that y'all need to stand together and y'all need to also hold each other accountable so that we can continue to create black families.
Right.
And that we don't have to, separate in order for the children to be healthy. So, like, as far as healing, I feel like self-accountability is the first step. It was the first step for me, right? Because normally, your elders, they tell you, like, when you get into a breakup with the opposite sex, and they cross you, it's F, FM, F niggas, F bitches, and shit like that. I don't want to be like that because at the end of the day, it's been a year I've been single. One day I want to welcome a man to be my husband, but I didn't want to heal with the momentum of fuck y'all because if I felt that way, then I would be lonely. Yep. You know what I mean? So it was
self-accountability.
Self-accountability.
Self-preservation.
Yes, that too. And then the first part of the self-accountability was, why did I welcome that man and that energy into my life? What was I needing from him or needing in general that I seeked out a person that, you know, was incapable of love.
Right.
So it took me going through that and just like, you know, learning myself and knowing that what I want moving forward. You know what I mean? I
Right.
want to have a healthy relationship where we both get to be individuals and we trust each other to do so. You get what I'm saying?
Indeed.
You go do you, I do me, and we meet up at the end.
Indeed.
But I can trust you to do that.
Indeed.
So that's where I'm at with this, because I want to be able to tell my sisters, you've been hurt, but you can trust another black brother.
Right.
But I need to tune into my brothers to make sure we keeping each other accountable. I'm
Yeah,
telling her,
credibility.
sexy red ain't right. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
y'all telling the men, D-Lo keeps talking about, you know, F the women.
Right.
That ain't how it is.
Yeah,
We're
the
supposed to love each other.
Yeah, the influence, and this is what we also got to understand is that we all human beings, and when we looking at certain things, you got to take it with a grain of salt. Like, even though he may be saying even though this influencer, quote unquote, might be saying a certain amount of facts, you don't know what the fuck they got going on. What
Right.
you know what I mean? And because it's that balance, but they may be great at this, but they may be failing at something else. You know what I mean? So you have to have self accountability, like you said. Like what it come down to is being honest with yourself. Loving yourself first is very important, but we don't love ourselves enough.
We don't. We
None of us do. You
seek
know
that
what I mean?
validation from other people.
Right. So you got to be honest with yourself, and even knowing that part, like you could think like, oh yeah, I love myself. Da, 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 da. Not if you always, you know what I mean, like, oh, I feel ugly, or you don't want to go out. Da, da, da. You got to be honest with yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the first thing.
Right.
That is like number one. Then you could, if you want to set a positive impact in the world, and that's what I want to do. That's what I set out to do, regardless of such. I got flaws. I be doing bullshit sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody's
But
perfect.
you know what I mean, because I'm not perfect. But if I know that that's what I want to do in my life, my moral compass is kind of set in a certain place to where, all right, I gotta love myself too.
Right. Definitely.
I gotta be somewhere to where, in order for me to set those goals, for me to be a positive impact in somebody else's life, I gotta be a positive impact in my life. Like first, you know what I mean? I gotta be able to.
Definitely.
Without experience, you cannot be an expert. You can read all the books you want, but if you don't experience shit,
Right.
you're not an expert. You can't be a nerd and tell me that you're an expert. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta actually experience the shit first.
Right.
Fuck all that book reading. I read the
Yeah.
book too, but people write books off experience. You know what I mean? Like,
Experience definitely the
yeah, that's
best
the bottom
teacher.
line. That's how we all learn.
Right.
It's from experience. So if I'm just listening to you and I don't experience it myself, I'm being influenced.
True.
But if I actually go through it and be like, oh, okay, he was right, now I can vouch for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to take all that shit with a grain of salt and love yourself first, experience it yourself first, and then go from there. Then you can make a better decision on how you want to move with your life,
I
in
agree.
your direction, you know?
Okay. So LV, I'm going to touch bases on everything.
Cause I've been there with you.
So, what about life and self-love made you transition from the streets into a businessman that goes to church on Sunday?
Great question. Just living in, like, basically growing up, stuff you go through, stuff I went through, living and learning, always fighting with family, and you know, when you get together with other families and your family can't get together, it kind of hurts you, and just a lot of stuff that I seen growing up, and people tell you that you could be this, and you just, I know I can't, but if you really put your foot to it, you can do it, and God is always there for you. So long as you believe in Him, all things can happen. And it's just, you just gotta mind your own, you live alone. Stay focused and just do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. That's going to make you happy first before you try to make anybody else or anything else happy. Just do what you got to do to stay focused and continue to live. That's it. And church always going to be there. It's always going to be there for you. You just got to have the mind and be strong to get up and go up in there and sit there for that hour, because he giving you all of these days, these hours. We breathing right now. He done gave us these clothes on our back. He done gave us everything. And you can't go give him an hour out of the week.
Definitely.
Well, how are you praising God? I love God. How?
Right.
But you can't go sit down and listen to him for an hour. That's
Right.
kind of strong. And some people, I got a couple people up in there just off of telling them, and they come see, and then they see like, how could you do this and do that but still go to church? I mean, nobody's perfect.
Right.
Everybody gonna do what they gotta do what they gotta do to get it, how they get it, and how they want to live to get it. So.
And God said, "Come as you are."
Right, and and God know how everybody is. Nobody's perfect. So if you having a bad day the day before you went to church, you repent, you gonna live feeling different.
Right.
But some people may be there and leave and go smoke that wood and drink that drink. They gonna do that.
Right.
But you done left and you happy you got what you got, and everybody's gonna leave and do what they do. Maybe even the preacher.
Right.
You never know. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody.
So can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
So, is it when you in church? What are you getting? Are you gaining knowledge? Are you gaining what is it when you take that hour on that Sunday, right? What are you getting from it? Like what are you getting from it?
What am I getting? It's like a feeling like you walking in a building. It's like a family. Everything could be left in there, be there. You don't know. You could go in there and they'll know that you not you.
Yeah.
Or you can go in there and it's just like you was mad, sad, you want to go kill. But once you walk in there, it's like, my peeps.
Right.
We here, let's do it. And you hear the words, some words may be strong and some may be not. It's how you take it.
Right.
But you have to sit there and listen. So once you listen and you get it, it's just like some stuff hits you, and it's just, I think about, damn, I've been through that, and it's like, it's a reason why I'm still here. Because of this, that, and you always think about him first before you do anything, because I done did a lot to where he got me in a lot of trouble. I done had homies who I'm about to be 35 next Saturday, and a lot of men ain't even lived to be 17 coming up in our age. Especially living on the east side of Long Beach,
Right.
where it's the only Crip city, and blacks are going against blacks, and then the Mexicans watching us kill each other,
Yeah.
and then they coming to take over, and now we sitting here mad wondering why they working at all the shoe stores, why they building all these buildings.
Right.
The blacks are killing each other. They want to tote guns, don't want to go praise God or have God in their life and think before they go take action. That's why we're living like this, and we need to build a better future, because our future are being misled by wrong people and wrong things that are going on in the streets because of what they see.
I totally agree. So another question for you, LV. What do you feel you can tell the next young black man that's coming up with a chip on his shoulder that feels like it's by any means necessary? He can't get a job. He got to go out here and do everything that he can to get it out the mud, to get it from the trenches. Like, what do you tell him?
I done had a lot of chips on my shoulders. I done been down to the ground. I done lost money, borrowed money, been taken in. We done lost spots because I done did dumb stuff with the money. Mm-hmm. And it's just what you do with it and how you... Basically, I had to grow up. Change my environment, change the things I do, what I do, how I do it, and when I do it.
Right.
How would you say that to a young man just getting out? Like, if you had to mentor somebody right now, what would you tell him? Because, like, if he was on that path, like, you see him, like, yeah, little nigga, you, like, he reminds you of you when you was growing up. Like, how would you tell him to not do the same things that, because you see him going in the same path that you went in. You feel me? Like,
Basically, when I was growing up, my big brothers used to tell me, "You're gonna listen to somebody one day,
Just
let him learn, and he gonna come back and be like,
let him learn and burn.
what? Who is that somebody? That officer that's telling you, cut that light off. You can't eat. Go in there. No, you can't use the phone. You missing your parents." But to tell a kid who's going, because I be seeing kids all day, and I look at them like they walk in crowds, they coming from school, y'all sagging, y'all think all that's cool with your hoodie on. You're bringing attention. You must like attention because you see what the future that you're looking at is doing. And they letting you do that. So when you destroy yourself, what are they doing for you? Nothing.
Right.
They not there for you. They're not there for your family. It's nothing going on. Like a post I had posted. Why not support your homie when he's alive? But you would support him when he's dead? The post said it was about 90 bottles of rosé on the ground. Jeez. Each one was about $90, 50 rosés, each one $90.
Drinking when
and
he
it
died.
totaled up to this amount. But why you couldn't get after him to build something? Why you don't put that in the hood to build something? Y'all like to kick it in front of somebody else's establishment, destroying their store and say, "Oh, this is my hood." You don't even own a quarter size of the hood. You don't even own nothing on the block. A piece of it, the piece of the grass you don't own. But
Right.
you calling it your block and you destroying where someone wants to build their future.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they're coming in, getting destroyed, being misled by these other kids whose parents grew up and letting it bow down and keep continuing to go down to their kids who's taking it to school, trying to recruit to bring on home so it can keep going because they think it's cool because they're going to get high after school. They thinking they got some fresh stuff because they big homie got it, and okay, he got it, but what is he doing for you to get it? Oh, he's sending you to go do something to get it.
Right.
That's what you gonna tell
But
him.
until you get there where he's not there sending you money, writing you, because his days are going to continue to go while you sitting there listening to somebody that one day.
Right. Definitely.
Just like that. You live and you learn. Only the strong survive. It's how you take it and how you move with it. Straight like that.
Definitely. I definitely agree. So my next question, since we on the issues that's going on in our city, and now that we're the older people, because I ain't gonna lie, I'm 30 now, and it's like, oh, I'm the big homie. Like, I'm supposed to tell y'all not to do what we used to do, right? Definitely being a mother. So how can we, as entrepreneurs, bridge the gaps? And how can we address it? How can we contribute to changing our children around?
That too, that's another thing too. A lot of us gang members have kids. Mm-hmm. And that's all they see. So once all they see is that's all they see. So say one person gang member has a party, they inviting only their gang member friends, which is bringing their kids. What are your kids seeing?
Network.
The liquor, the drink, the guns being toted around. What do kids go to the store and go get? The first cap gun. And you letting them get it, so they practicing already.
Right.
It's accumulating in their mind. And they already puming at you. You already see kids getting killed just for having a little red thing on there.
Right.
Fake guns, real guns coming like that now. So and it's like kids think those are like toys. They're not toys. People don't kill guns. Guns kill people.
Right. Definitely.
But I think we got to network. You know what I'm saying? We gotta show
unity.
You say it again?
Unity.
Yeah,
we gotta show unity. We like what you said. Like instead of all the homies bringing their kids over and they got pop guns, and we gotta network and we gotta be at a certain level to where, all right, we're gonna do that. If we're gonna do that type of shit, cause you know we from the hood, whatever.
Right.
We'll do that on the side, but it's when it's time to do business and you know what I mean, do it for the kids. We gotta do it for the kids. You know what I mean? We can't
keep on my apologies.
Do that all together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's one of the things that you know, we gotta deal with just as a culture, as a community, is being so comfortable with being so raw with our kids. You feel me?
Right,
like,
right,
You know
right.
what I mean? Like you said with the cap gun shit. You know what I mean?
Letting the
I ain't
kid
gonna lie.
cuss.
I got my nephew a cap gun in Mexico.
See, but it's from Mexico, though. But letting the kids are starting to cuss like they're just on it. They grabbing phones, ordering stuff.
Right.
We didn't have all that.
We ain't had
We was
none of that.
outside.
Yeah,
You had to
right.
be outside, and ain't no ins and outs.
Yeah.
Ain't no you telling your homie go ask your mom to spend it out. Nowadays they just going on ahead over there.
Right.
That mama gonna let you go over there while she going out
Bro,
and
yeah,
be with her
yeah,
friends, and
yeah.
they know. Oh, your mom going
Got
out.
a
Come
little
on.
baby say, now you
All
with
y'all
me.
gonna do is go grab the phones and have fun
Yeah.
all night. But who knows what they doing? Especially at the age of 15, 16, they let it be out like they young. Like, why is that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. So my next question, Omar, how crucial is emotional intelligence in running a successful business?
Emotional intelligence is very important, but your accent, I love it. Omar. Yeah. Shout out my dude Shaq.
Oh, how
That's
you
my
doing?
dog. Yeah, comedian, hilarious as fuck. He on the rise.
He gonna be here soon. We trying to get him in one of these.
Nah, he come sit on the couch right now. Come sit right
Come
quick.
on, Shaq.
Come sit down. Come sit
Come
down
on,
real quick. Let
Shaq.
my dog sit down, but
Come on, Shaq.
exactly. Because
One love.
he really does fuck with my emotional intelligence a lot.
I'm not the easiest to deal with.
Yeah, he ain't the easiest. He's just big ass size, right?
You know, how you do?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so you, yeah, I was about to say you
Oh yes, my name is Shaq Roll. I'm originally from the Bronx.
Oh, okay,
You know,
East Coast. Yes.
New York, coffee, water, whatever you want me to say. I'll say it real quick.
Okay.
I've been out here 7 years now, doing stand-up comedy primarily. I actually was brought out here because I was in the cannabis industry and wanted a legal realm to work in.
Okay.
So that led me to be able to be like, all right, now what else do you want to do? And I thought about childhood stuff, like, all right, let's do comedy. Did that, and it's been going good. It's been going good.
That's what's up. You
Yeah,
got
we
any?
adopted him.
Yeah, he kind of look like you.
He a part of our family now. We adopted him.
Yeah, yeah.
All the big eyes.
It runs in the family.
They try to. Mine's are the biggest, so they act like they ain't big. I make
It's
them-
an East Coast thing. My
Yeah.
son got the same one.
My son got he got the new models though.
Yeah.
These 1994s.
Whoa.
Yeah, old models.
All right, Jass. Ask the question again.
How crucial is emotional intelligence in running a successful business?
It's extremely crucial. Like, you have to first of all, like the question you asked earlier, like you got to understand your own mental situation, and you got to understand where other people are at. So sometimes you got to diagnose certain shit, but you also got to be able to like, oh, if I'm getting mad and I'm at work, let me calm it down. Like, you got to know your own emotional intelligence. Knowing when to shut up is emotional intelligence. Knowing when to just listen is emotional intelligence. Even though when you know that you right, when you want to tell somebody that you right, and you shut the fuck up because it doesn't matter if you right or wrong, that's emotional intelligence, right? So like, when you start understanding that, it don't matter. You're going to get the money anyway. Okay, keep talking. Just give me your money. You know what I mean? When it comes to entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? It's all about the business.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you want me to listen? All right, I'm not listening, but I want you to think I'm listening.
This
Right.
guy
You know what I
told me
mean?
that.
I'm just on a business standpoint.
Yeah.
The other
You know what I
day he
mean?
told me that though. He said next time if you arguing with somebody, make sure you're getting paid to do it. And he walked off, and I thought about it like, that's right. Because you're killing with silence, they going to be mad. But if you in a argument, you know you're getting paid. I'm going to sit there and listen. Whatever, come on. I'm getting paid for whatever. All right, I'm out.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, like certain stuff, you
it's
got to,
like, all right,
certain
keep
stuff
talking,
ain't
keep
worth
talking,
and
keep
some
talking.
is.
Give me the money, I'm
I'm out. Yeah.
You know what
Definitely.
I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just about life.
So
Life
that's
is really
emotional
real.
intelligence when it comes to entrepreneurship. Know your client. If you don't like your client, so what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You that don't mean you don't want his money.
Right. Definitely.
So that's emotional intelligence.
right. Definitely.
In a sense, in
So
a nutshell.
I would like to thank all y'all for coming out today. It was
you.
definitely
Thank you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Getting inside of the black man's mind and definitely sharing your viewpoints about entrepreneurship, what we can do with the community, how we can continue to build that gap, and whatever animosity we have between the black man and woman, we can continue to work on and acknowledge each other and acknowledge our pain points and grow together, because we got a community we have to raise and reproduce in together.
Gotta do it together.
We do.
So definitely.
I appreciate
We do.
your platform, man. Like, this is dope as fuck. Like,
Thank you. I definitely
what I
want y'all to
mean?
come back.
and I definitely gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta pop out the painting and let people know what we
definitely.
out here really
Sometimes
doing.
you gotta
Like,
pop out and show. Never mind.
Yes.
it's becoming a little.
Never mind.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely glad he brought this back up. So I asked him to paint this, and he definitely took the image in my mind and painted it on this canvas.
That's emotional intelligence right there.
Definitely.
In a nutshell. Straight
So
up.
he painted it so beautiful, it tell a story itself. But as I was going through one of the most difficult times in my life, separating from my fiance and becoming a single mother, everything was on my shoulders. And as we spoke of before, no matter what you're going through, you got to chase the bag.
Right.
So every morning I was getting up, going to them board meetings, and my heart was like, but it hurt. Like, it hurt. Like, I supposed to be in the hospital right now recovering. And my brain was like, no, we can't be broken and broke. Like, we got to go get this money.
Yeah.
So thank you, Omar, so much.
Thank you so much too.
It's definitely going right
Appreciate you.
over my bed. So when I wake up and don't want to get the money, I'm going to go get it.
You gotta do what you gotta do, and that's what
right.
that's what it's
That's
about.
right.
It's about survival. Like, you know what I mean.
Yes.
I got my good friend here. She taught me about that. You know what I mean. Like, April. You know what I mean. Shout out Big April. You know what I mean. What it is like, you know what I mean. Shit, get the fucking money. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Look at
Big,
y'all.
that's the track star right there.
That's Big
That's
April.
the
You know
track
what I'm
star.
saying.
Big April,
Real
the track
shit.
star. We
That's
got to get her on
exactly
here
what I'm
too.
Real shit.
gonna have
Like,
to
Yeah,
got a lot of
definitely.
folks to get on
This
here.
the first
Therapy
episode, but
finna
we got to
go
keep
up.
coming back for more
you
and
gotta have a
more.
black woman behind you. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
One thing, if y'all haven't seen this movie, terrible.
Oh.
But go check out A Hip Hop Story by Affion Crockett.
Yeah.
A Hip Hop
They got
Story.
Wayne Brady in there, Cedric the Entertainer, Damian Radcliffe, Damian Wayans.
Who else in there?
Me, bro. I ain't want to start with because I didn't want to make them feel bad. You know, we all got stuff going on.
Yeah, we trying.
Yes, sir. We all
trying.
trying. We trying to get that
trying.
back out
We
here
doing.
because, you know, the mother folks taking over.
Yeah.
We trying to get it.
So, also, be on the lookout. I just started a production company
Okay.
a year and a half ago, and I'm finally getting the traction to start producing things. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? New
National
black
best-selling
films,
author.
new black.
So I wanted to bring him
You
here.
know.
Hopefully,
I got some
hopefully,
books you can go ahead and turn into.
hopefully he
could.
could
Hey.
he could get a little booking in with China,
therapy.
Tokyo.
Oh yeah. So
That's who he worked for. But
Okay.
yeah. So as of right now, I am very excited. I can't talk about the projects I'm working on with them just yet. But
Right.
I'm the producer
Okay.
of the situation. So we're gonna be doing 2 TV shows, and then I'm helping write jokes because
Okay.
they are starting stand up.
Okay.
I'm gonna be at your mansion.
Yeah.
After it's all done, we there.
It's over.
We there. My boy came a long way and he making it. We all blessed.
I want a lonely mansion, man.
That's how we ending it.
Like my house
It
is
was so
noisy.
great having y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, in the
I was about to say, I know we ain't.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining me again. This is Jass Reign, national best-selling author, owner of She Bossed Up, and host of Boss Therapy Podcast. Y'all can let them know where to follow y'all at on Instagram, social media.
Yeah, I'm at Omar Guy, OMAR, another R, GOD. Hit me up. I'm doing a mural in my city, in my hood, at my basketball gym. Vote for me. Yeah, that's it. Just vote for me. Let me get that mural, man, because I'm dealing with some other people that ain't even from the hood. I need somebody that's really like that. They not like us. Vote for me.
Vote for him.
Trump campaign. For me.
Shaq, do your thing.
Oh man, y'all can find me on all platforms at Shaq Roll, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, Big O, Instagram, Facebook. You'll get annoyed on my face, but you'll find me on all of those platforms. You feel me? So do that, laugh, lighten up. Y'all do your thing.
He a spam.
Y'all find me just on Instagram, IG at Tatted on the App, TATTEDONNAAVE. That's me. You'll see me kissing my dog. Rest in peace.
Shout out to my stylist. That guy, what he just said. Shout out to my stylist, man. He got me right today. Yeah.
All God's blessing. All God's blessing.
Yes, it was definitely a blessing to have you. Thank you.